Welcome to a wrestling figure news kind of mood. I'm Justin Kendall, back with my co-host Travis Moody. It has been a while. How you doing, Travis?
Real good. I'm thankful to have an ultimately patient partner here on Wrestling Figure News kind of mood. It's been almost a month, so glad to be back. Excited for Comic-Con, excited to talk about all these reveals and wish lists that we got today. So real pumped, man.
We've been through two pay-per-views, one from each company, and by the time people are listening to this or watching this, we'll have been through a third with the NXT Heatwave show tonight. But yes, it's been a while, and we've got a lot of things to talk about. And you have titled this episode 4, Walmart exclusives equal money in the bank. And I would argue that it's money in Walmart's bank. And there is a lot of money that's going in Walmart's bank these months. And we'll get into all of that. But first, please like, rate, review, and subscribe to this channel as well as to the Wrestling Figure News podcast. It helps us out. 5-star reviews are like 5-star wrestling matches. They are appreciated. But let's get into some of the things that we saw last night. That was Money in the Bank. And we do this thing where we talk about the attires that really struck us during the event. And we each have our own list, but ours sort of mirror each other this time.
Yeah, real close. I mean, we could start off right away. There's gonna be a lot of females on this, and so don't dig too deep into this episode, especially if you're watching. But maybe it's a good thing that we're starting to get more female wrestlers in the line, and they're starting to come out with some great attire.
Yeah, and you know that they are going to make Tiffany Stratton at some point. She's going to come with probably a pink briefcase by then because she said that it's going to be pink. But that is sort of my 1A to 1B with Jacob Fatu as my most wanted coming out of this event. And just, I think that that was a killer look for her. And she's going to be on fire as Miss Money in the Bank. What are you thinking?
Oh yeah, no, I mean compared to all the other females that we had in that match, this is obviously would be a very striking, toyetic figure. I mean, you get the shiny outfit with the green and pink and gold, or like bronze color, sparkly. It's kind of funny, as kids, we would never want this stuff, and as adults, we want all the Barbies in our lineup now. Pretty funny.
Absolutely. Yeah, and what a perfect company to have somebody that's essentially a living embodiment of Barbie in Mattel. So, how about you? How what are some others that, struck you as attire choices that we need?
Well, I think it was more about figure needs for me, and I think that's kind of a theme with both of the pay-per-views or PLEs that we're going to talk about. I actually don't have a Chad Gable figure in my collection. I think he's really, since re-signing or kind of doing the whole heel thing, going really far with it. I think he's been tremendous. I thought he was the best, absolute best talent that we had in the Money in the Bank match yesterday too. So I dig this. I dig this outfit. I don't know what it reminds me of. It's like some kind of hot rod outfit. How would you explain this one to the fans listening?
It's like red with an orange flame shooting across it, I believe. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like dragon fire almost.
Right, yeah, I don't mean hot rod Roddy Piper. I just meant like hot rod racing, some kind of Daytona
Exactly.
500, cruising the USA kind of thing. But yeah, it's sick, man, and it kind of reflects his energy right now and his attitude. So I dig it. I think it's a very toyetic outfit, and I'd love to add a Chad Gable to my stable of figs.
Always welcoming Chad Gable figures into my collection. That last Chad Gable figure, I thought the head sculpt was pretty spot on, and I really think that they've done well with him in the elite line for the most part. The USA gear that he had before with the gold was maybe the best, up there with Gold Dust, with the best golden figures that
Mhm.
Mattel has ever produced. And yeah, I know that there was another NXT figure out there that a lot of people have used for like custom fodder for like Owen Harts and things. But yeah, Chad Gable is very toyetic, I think.
Well, speaking of gold, why don't we segue into this one and we can backtrack for a bit, man. You selected Cody with the gold outfit. And I didn't think about this one right away, maybe because I ranked like 20 different Cody figures. I'm kind of over Cody for just briefly, but man, you brought me back in with these gold duds.
So this is my like plea to Mattel to let's get it right this time. We'd had the Mattel Creations made to order figure, and that one didn't quite live up to the hype, really, and it was all about the tights. They didn't get it right. I've seen other versions of that figure out there, and I thought that those were even worse, and that was, like, this brownish color from that return WrestleMania match, and
Mhm.
it was really a golden color, like,
It's like a
that they
honey mustard.
yeah, and both
Yeah.
versions that I've seen haven't haven't gotten it right. But I think this is Mattel's shot at redemption. I think that they could do this, and if they can do this gold right, it would be right up there with some of the best figures of the year.
Damn it, we're gonna get another Cody, and then you're obviously gonna talk about one later in the show when we get Steiner lined with our wallets.
Absolutely. But you also had Andrade on your list of Money in the Bank attires with that, was it like pink and black?
Yeah, and I think it's more again, it's more of wanting an Andrade figure. He is obviously clearly toyetic, both with the mask and without. He's got a good look too. But yeah, it's a Bret Hart look, man. Pink and black attack. It's got the white and it's got silver in it too, to kind of give it a little more dynamic. And then the pink on it is very shiny. I mean, this was just a hell of an outfit. I wonder if Charlotte is dressing this guy up because he's looking pretty fabulous and he had himself a good match too. So definitely want this Andrade look.
And that's that mask that we received with the AEW figure, and I'll be honest, I've been underwhelmed by his return to WWE. I think they've really not gotten behind him, it feels like.
Right.
I'm not really gonna count the speed title that he's not wearing and to the ring or even being acknowledged as the speed champion, so I think that I don't know. That's a whole other conversation. But the
For sure.
last figure that we should talk about is Jacob Fatu, and I think that is going to be a must for collectors whenever that hits. I know that Boss Fight Studios MLW Jacob Fatu has been selling out play everywhere online. I know that the last I saw it was up for pre-order again at Entertainment Earth, and I think it was around the $40 range for it. And it doesn't scale horribly, but this is definitely a look that we're going to need with the
Yeah.
Samoan werewolf shirt and the black and red pants and the boots. And yeah, I think that he's just a very toyetic guy, and he is going to be very wanted in this line.
For those watching on a Toy Kind of Mood, I like the shot I used because it kind of shows at least three figures that are wanted all in one shot. So you can actually see Cody with the gold tights without the jacket, and then of course Tamatanga we talked about last time we hung out, and then Jacob, of course, is obviously a most wanted figure, so much so that people are overpaying, for an MLW figure. So I mean, Mattel's gonna get to him, so I'm in no rush. But as we know, gotta have everyone's gotta have it now. So
And there's Solo in that photo that you showed
yeah,
too, and we need him with boots because this greatest hits figure has already come out, and they've righted the wrongs of his rather slim build and given him the bulkier torso.
he
And
looks great.
they've also switched up the head. It is different from the version that
Mhm.
originally came with him, and they also gave him the Velcro shirt in the back, which if you remember that last one, it was a pullover. It had no Velcro. You had to pop the head and pop the hands off and really work at it to get that shirt on him.
So it's usually funny because everyone's going from Velcro to pullover, and now this is going from pullover to Velcro.
Yeah. So that greatest hits elite figure has hit ringside already, and I imagine it'll be popping up at other retailers too. But that gets us into some WWE action figure news, and which is why you're here. And the SummerSlam shipper is hitting Walmart stores now. I have had zero luck finding this at any of my Walmarts, but this shipper has a lot of different things on it. It has the SummerSlam wave, but the main thing that I think we all care about on this shipper are the Monday Night War Elite figures, and they have Wave 2 and Wave 3 on them. I've seen both versions, and a lot of people finally getting that Kevin Nash. That seems to be the hardest one in the set to get so far.
Mhm.
And a lot of people pulling Harlem Heats, Rob Van Dam's, and that Rock figure.
Yeah. So, oh man, this is such a sore subject for me. Just ask Ozer. He's sick of me talking to him about it, but it's just the distribution with Walmart is asinine. It's like the areas where they're heavy on collectors and of course scalpers. There's none of this. And then it's like these smaller, and not to say there isn't a lot of collectors and secondary market folks in other towns. They're everywhere. But I'm just saying, like places like Southern California, places like New York, like places that really are heavy, big metropolitan areas where they're heavy in collecting, heavy in the second market with collector shops and stuff. There's none of this here to help, like at least like give us a chance. And so I don't even bother. There's not a lot of Walmarts near me, and then the ones that are like within a half an hour drive, there's always like the Hot Wheel guys that hang out at 6 a.m. waiting for it to open, and then they grab all the WWE stuff. Just they don't want it. They just want it to throw it on their eBay. They, as soon as they hit the Hot Wheels, they get this. And so unless you're lining up at Walmart at 6 a.m., they're cleared out. And a lot of the guys that run the Toy Owl stuff are, they're flipping it themselves, so they're holding it in the back. There's also, everyone knows about Frank and Sons here in LA. That's a whole thing. So it's really competitive. Ask anybody that lives in LA. It's really hard to in SoCal. It's really hard to find this, but I'm happy for people who are getting a chance to get it. And but it like I said, it's Walmart exclusives are money in the bank for me because I just will never find them. We don't have, if I do have a figure in my suplex wallet and a funny story about it later that I did find at Walmart, but I don't even bother at this point. It's like if I can't get it online or at the Mattel store, then forget about it.
I mean, I live in basically a secondary market or maybe even a third third market, and I have yet to see this. I have hit a trifecta of Walmarts over the weekend and just nothing popping in my area yet. I am very hopeful that these are plentiful, but it makes me a little nervous, and I still have pre-orders out on some of them, and we'll see if those actually get fulfilled because that's not been Walmart's strong suit. I did get that
No.
Maya Via Legacy pack mailed to me from Walmart, but I've also seen that pack shelf warming pretty hard too at
Yeah.
Walmart
The
stores.
the the way I look at things is if they're shipping it to you or you find it, it's not worth anything. Like it doesn't flip. So if I find anything at Target or Walmart, because I never have that kind of luck where someone just puts it out. I always hear those stories like they just put it out, they had it on the pallet. I never see it. I don't know when they do it. It's like unless I spend 24 hours in the store, it's not going to happen for me. But yeah, I'm very bitter, very salty. So leave those comments. I hate Walmart exclusives that I keep getting promised that, and I did ask them a question. I asked Mattel, I said, "Will you guys finally have stuff on Mattel Creations because Hasbro Pulse has shared exclusives. They have the Marvel Legends, Black Series, GI Joe stuff. It's limited quantities on Pulse, but at least gives you a chance, and they're not going to cancel on you. Like if you
Mm.
put your order in with Pulse and you get, you buy the premium membership for $50, you're going to do it. So why not do the same with Mattel Creations? Not everyone can go to Walmart. Not everyone has Walmarts. People have scalper problems in the area. At least with Mattel Creations, if you say, hey, we're putting up these shared exclusives, going to be limited quantities up at 10 a.m., at least at 10 a.m., I know to go to the bathroom at work, to try to to try to get in on it and try to get some of these Monday Night War figures, because otherwise I'm just not getting them.
Totally feel that pain. And the other ones that are beginning to hit, apparently San Diego, are Eddie Guerrero and Mankind, the Ultimate Edition figures. And I have seen these on eBay. I've seen other folks pick them up on eBay. I have not picked them up yet. I'm holding out, hoping that my pre-orders get fulfilled, which is not the greatest, or that I actually run into them in a store at some point. We'll see if that actually happens.
I, I mean, let's explain to your audience listening what you see on the screen. I mean, they're going. This is why you can't find them, because they go for $150 on Macari right now.
For the
It's
set.
$75 a piece for the set.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you're paying $35, and they're trying to make a $40 profit on each. They're just trying to get, there are two figures for free, which I get. They woke up early, they camped out, they ran to the toy aisle. They know someone, I get the work, I get the grind, but that's where we're at right now. It's too bad. Both figures look amazing, but I don't know if I'll ever get them until they reach that RVD Brock Lesnar ultimate status, where you got to wait an entire year, and then maybe you'll get lucky and see one at the Mattel store, or
Oh,
maybe a random Walmart. Once they don't flip, I'll find them. Once
please,
they're not
please
worth
don't
any money.
say, please don't
Yeah.
say that it'll take that long. But
I mean, it took me that long to get. When did RVD Ultimate come
oh,
out? I
I can't even
just,
remember. Yeah,
I got it 2 months ago, and it came out. It was at least a year ago, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
and
it's a
then
good 10 month where you're gonna find that it's 10 months before it's not worth anything. But actually, look at Eddie and Ray, Ruthless Aggression, right? Those were Ruthless Aggression
Eddie and
Ultimates.
Ray. Yes,
Walmart.
those were the
Yeah,
ruthless
those are
aggression.
worth crazy money right now,
Yep.
and it's been a year at least.
And these are supposed to ship in September. From if you got in on the pre-order, that's when they're supposed to ship. The Monday Night War Elite Wave 3, those are supposed to ship in mid-August. So I don't know if they actually will. We're all holding
Right.
out hope. And that
Yep.
Eddie is reason why I have hope that if Mattel takes another stab at a gold Cody Rhodes, they can make it happen, because that looks really good.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm getting mad just looking at all this and talking about it. So maybe we should just
Let's change the subject to something that probably made both of us very happy, and that's AEW Forbidden Door. I haven't had a shot at talking about the attires from that event, but it's going to be no surprise that the top of my list is probably the top of everyone's list and of figures that they want from AEW right now, and that's Will Osprey. And this right here in the hit Hayabusa tribute outfit with mask, very toyetic. If I'm Jazzwares, I am working overtime on this. I think I said it on last week's podcast that we just need a series that is just 8 Will Ospreys. You get 6 regular editions
Yeah,
and
yeah.
2 a rare and a chase.
I mean, I'm with you. I just want Will Osprey at this point.
Yep.
It seems like their facial scanning is getting better. I liked with the last the last couple Pacs. Like they're starting to get better. They're starting to turn a corner. I think I'm having faith in their facial scan technology, because that's always the key. Like Jay White looks good. We're gonna talk about Jeff Jarrett. He looks great. They're starting to turn. It's starting to get better, because they had to, because otherwise they were going to be dead in the water. So I'm bigger on Jazzwares AEW figures right now, and yeah, Will Osprey is definitely at the top of my list. And what about the Hayabusa rights and all that stuff? That's where it could get silly.
That's where it really would get tricky.
Yeah,
Somehow Jazzwares figured out a way to do Jericho's tattoos. They figured out a way to do
yeah.
basically the Cobra logo and the Pepsi logo for Punk. I know that they're a little off, but they're not that off. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe they can
Mm-hmm.
make things happen. Although, if you want to extinguish your hopes, they still haven't given us a pink and black attire Owen Hart in the singlet. So that's
Yeah.
probably not a great sign for being able to do that. But Jeremy is the one that made classic superstars happen, and that happened because they made agreements with other wrestlers to get them into those lines. So maybe he can make that happen here.
For sure. And then Will's opponent is another one on
Swerve.
your list. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we need a champion Swerve real bad,
Mm-hmm.
and he has had some very toyetic looks, whether it's the Warriors attire, but I really dig this black and gold. Just everything about it is fantastic.
How about a Supreme Swerve? I think it just sounds good. He deserves it. Maybe I have a feeling Swerve's going to be at Comic Con. He seems like a Comic Con guy. He seems like a guy that could be in their panel. They haven't announced anything yet for Comic Con, but maybe they're working on that. Swerve seems like he's hot right now. He's got the personality. He's into the culture. He's done a podcast. He's into the nerd culture as well. So it kind of fits, man. How about a Supreme Swerve for that AEW Jazzwares panel? That's probably going to go against the GI Joe panel.
Give me all the swerves. Like this was a good swerve. It's a
Good.
good start, but it's
Yep.
not champion swerve,
Mm-mm.
even though I've got the belt on him. But there are so many characters. I mean, this is the main issue with Jazzwares right now is
Yeah.
you're getting some older looks, and we need these newer looks. We need the timeless Tony Storm. We need Jack Perry with a beard and as the scapegoat. We need Christian with the turtleneck. We need all these upgraded looks. FTR. We need Dax with the mustache. There are just
Right.
so many looks that are dated at this point, and they need to revisit some of these figures and get them out. That's as simple as I can put it. They need to scrap some of the plans that they may have had for older figures, because look at the unmatched 10 set. I think it's a great lineup. I'm excited about a lot of it, but a lot of those attires are dated. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, by the time we get Konosuke Takeshita, is he going to be in the babyface look that they showed off? It wasn't even a render; it was just a photo. So that's just like a hint at what they could do. Or are they going to update it to, villain Konosuke Takeshita with the mask and very toyetic look? Like, come on, let's get let's update things. We don't want figures that are 2 years old. Well, some of us do, but still.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I'm with you. Want to explain for those listening the Takeshita outfit that he had from Forbidden Door. This one's pretty damn good.
Well, he's got the devil mask and the trench coat, right? The black
Hmm.
trench coat. Just and he did. I think it was like a blue thunder bomb through those tables. Just one of the most memorable moments from that TNT ladder match.
Absolutely, yeah. This
Crowd
is a
was
right.
complete. Oh, sorry.
No, no, you're good. I was just gonna say after Osprey, this is probably second. I mean, I don't have the Swerve that you have, and I've wanted them. So me definitely a Supreme Swerve or something like that. But
Hmm.
as far as just new figures that we haven't had in the line, yeah, Takeshita, and especially he's got to be Don Callis family Takeshita at this point. It's just what at this point they should just skip. If they can't make the other figure in time, just skip it and go to the next thing. Like stop being behind because your sales are going to be affected by that. People want what's in now. Look, that's why the like Dan Turnquist is so popular and everything. Like people want the belts now. They can't wait a whole year. So they should
Hmm.
see that with the figures too.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're on the books and you haven't produced them yet, update the attire. Just I don't know what we're doing here where some of these like old attires are coming out, and then sometimes you'll luck out. Luck out exactly with like Daniel Garcia where he goes back to wearing the trunks and that
Yeah,
attire again. But
yeah.
this Zack Saber Jr. is definitely on my list of wants, and I don't know that that's an easy get since he's a new Japan guy, but
Right.
I thought he had a very clean, look with the white and orange and would definitely look good in anybody's collection.
Oh, it's real slick, and this would complete the trifecta of amazing foreign gaijin in New Japan. You know, you got Jay White coming soon, and then Osprey would be next, and then Zack Sabre. And once you have all three, you got all the all the amazing foreign legends that we've had over the last decade in New Japan that have really been at the top with your Naitos and Tanahashis and so forth. So yeah, this is it's essential just to get a Zach figure. Like you said, it's going to be strange to see how that works out contractually, and that's kind of what we're talking about with Forbidden Door.
And you've got Timeless Tony on the list as well. And to me, this is the perfect way to do like a chase is do her in color and do her in black and white.
Yeah.
It's easy enough, or have it be a ringside exclusive with Luther, and I think you and I have probably talked about this before. So
Mhm.
and Mariah May, like do a 3-pack.
Well, now you got the Statue of Liberty look. So this is very iconic. Had a good match, but man, this just reminded me, like I said, man, people watching this are gonna be like, what a bunch of horn dogs. But I had to go with Mina Shirakawa. I know she's super new talent, but man, she's been rocking it. She's hot in more ways than one in the company, showing good wrestling ability, also over in her character, really fit in with that group, had some good matches lately. So I think, very toyetic, very vibrant look. So, adding more foreign talent that's signed, would make sense too. And getting opening that forbidden door of figures for Stardom, that would be something just wow. That'd be breakthrough.
And Jazzwares has some easy home runs that they can do, and one of those is Okada. We mentioned Osprey, we
Oh, yeah.
mentioned Swerve, getting those updated looks. Okada is one of those home runs that they can throw out there into a series, and he's going to sell really well. And the Forbidden Door attire is another one of those that I think was another strong look for him. The silver and black and just his jackets, everything about him is just perfect for being in a figure line.
I'm with you. This is probably his best attire I've seen in AEW, and I wanted to show in the visuals here that not only does he have that amazing, jacket with all the different shards of like the shard design, it's almost like a leopard web or something. It's just crazy. It's got the silvery black and all the white lining there, but he also has the real shiny pants. So I wonder if they could start. We were talking about a lot of shiny things here on the show today. So I'm wondering if they can, add that layer of shine on the paint to really have his figure pop. But this Okada is great. But I didn't want to sleep on the Young Bucks. I thought it was funny. Obviously, they're not going to put Reebok, but they're ode to Okada with their robes, and then they're kind of hilarious. They're going with their Reebok colors because they sold out on the sneakers that came out about a month ago, and they're kind of combining their Reebok Young Buck look with the Okada dress. I thought that would be funny. I don't know if they'll ever make something like this, but it would be a fun deep cut.
Yeah, and get the pumps into the line.
Exactly.
And then rounding out this section for AEW Forbidden Door, you've got Mercedes Monet on your list, and that was a great look for her. I think Mattel always struggled with her head sculpts. I don't think that they ever quite nailed her. And I think this would be a really cool look to visit for Jazzwares.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Bright royal blues, got yellows. Her hair would be real fun, with like kind of greenish blue, yellow textures. I mean, obviously they made a great Hasbro Black Series figure. So for Casca Reeves, so why not, follow suit with that and give us a good scan. I mean, for the most part, AEW Jazzwares does the females pretty well. Their scans, I feel like better than the men for the more consistent. I'll say, than the men. They're not better, but more consistent. I think more, when you look at the female characters, they don't miss too much on the female scans. They don't miss as much as they do with the men. So I think they can probably get it done. But she's very unique, so it's going to be interesting to see how she looks. I think we get a Monet, like a render at Comic Con. I think that's one of those Comic Con type level announcements. A character, a superstar as big as Mercedes Monet.
She's another one that's an easy home run release for Jazzwares that they can do now, and they should do, and they should make a lot of Mercedes Monets. So the last one rounding this out is Jack Perry in the scapegoat look. You've got the goat head, you've got the trench coat, man bun beard combo, just and now you can do a TNT championship with him. And how about we resize it while we're at it?
Exactly. No, I think this would be a fun, following with Hook and all that. And remember, we did obviously got a Jack Perry Jungle Boy exclusive with Ringside, but doing a Ringside, follow suit with the Jeff Jarrett, the Jay White. I think by itself, new great packaging. Imagine the packaging for this with all like the scapegoat, art on there. It's dark, but it's got like, almost kind of a Bray Wyatt thing going on. So I think this would be a home run for Ringside. If they do a bloody Wheeler Yuta, they could definitely do a TNT champion scapegoat Jack Perry and sell way more. So I think it's a no brainer for a Ringside exclusive.
Give him the scapegoat bus, like just do it in the packaging with the
Yeah.
scapegoat bus. I think that would be really cool. So let's get into some figure talk with AEW, and just like Walmart exclusive Supreme Sting, but is it an exclusive? We've got
Oh boy.
questions because it's showing up at GameStop in Canada.
I mean, more anger from Trav over here because I don't think anybody was. Were you able to get in on a Walmart Supreme Sting pre-order?
Nope. And it
Was
held
it
up my
like up to
entire
30
order.
seconds? What's up?
Held up my entire order. I ordered
Oh,
immediately. I clicked everything in my cart to order, and it blocked me from making an order because the Sting went out. It was out of stock within seconds.
shame on Jazzwares for this. Seriously. And his name is the icon. Iconic characters like this. I know we have a million Stings, and it's Walmart wants something that's going to sell and something to drive them to stores, but you're not going to find it in the store. We're not dumb enough to hunt for this. It's not going to happen. So I don't know. It's just another GameStop Canada doesn't mean GameStop US, by the way. So that's not going to happen either. This is a Walmart exclusive, and good luck. It's going to go for $200 or more, or
Eh,
maybe $300.
Well,
Wouldn't
it's
be shocked.
going for around 150 or so if you're looking to get it from Canada, and that's how things are going right now, at least in the wrestling collector game, until these things cool off a little bit. This is the initial run, and hopefully it's like the CM Punk where
Right.
it it's in stock eventually and
Yeah.
plentiful, or even like Penta, which randomly showed up at Walmart's in, there were 6 sitting there, and there's
Yeah.
still a lot of Pentas sitting there.
Yeah, they'll still be in far more demand than Penta, but and I think CM Punk leaving, obviously people still wanted it, but knowing that he's getting, obviously we know, and we pre-ordered Mattel CM Punks, but at the time, I think some people were like, it's like the Cody situation. There's a lot of Codys because people are like, well, we're gonna get a million Codys from Mattel, and we did. So there, not everybody was rushing out to get the Supreme Cody. Right away they were, but after a few months, and I think that's why eventually we got a lot of CM Punks. But for Sting, I don't know. He's a legacy guy. I think this one's gonna be harder to get than Cody for sure, but in CM Punk, I think it'll be a lot harder. I don't know if we're gonna see a lot of these just sitting on the shelves, but I could be way off, and I hope I am.
Depends on how many they ship. It
Yep.
just depends on how many that they're loading the shelves with, and it's it's been a spotty track record so far. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess, because who knows what's going to happen until these start popping in stores. And honestly, if they're popping up in Canada now, it could be this month, it could be next month.
Uh-huh.
Who knows how long it'll take. The last time when it was just Punk, I think, what was it? They were showing up in Australia.
Well, if they made all of these wrestling figures Walmart exclusives, I'd never have to spend a penny on another wrestling figure again because I'm just not gonna see them.
Yeah.
So,
And
but
I
yeah,
think that's one of the things that we were all so hopeful with the Jazzwares Vault was that these figures would be a little more plentiful and maybe
we're,
show up there, and that didn't happen so far.
nope, it's just for exclusives. At this point, which is kind of what to an extent that's what Mattel Creations is. There's like some extra stock over. It's always like overflow stock peg warmers that are on that site. Pulse
Yep.
is kind of the same thing. I mean, Pulse is like an Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store more than Mattel Creations. They have a lot more stuff, but after a while, it just becomes like the place you can. If you find anything on it, it's because it doesn't. The scalpers don't want it, and it's overstock. You know what I mean? Like that's usually what happens after a while. So
Yeah.
it's kind of the name of the game. But more Walmart, buddy. More Walmart.
Everything's coming up Walmart right now, and that's these Brody King and Darby Allen pre-orders that went live, and their individual figures selling for $19.90 97 cents each. They are slated to ship in September. These are obviously the replacements for the Young Bucks figures that just came out. You can see Walmart is already clearancing those out at around $14.50. At least that's what I've seen so far. Although
Yeah.
we've got a lot of Eddie Kingstons and a lot of Jerichos still hanging around, but these two figures, the Brody and the Darby, are just absolutely the Jack's playbook of we're going to repaint some figures. In Brody's case, I think it's just a head sculpt repaint, giving him the face paint. And Darby, I think it's just making the jacket orange and
Yeah.
maybe changing up the trunks and the paint a little bit. But other than that, these are absolute just repaints.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with them.
Good as in you don't need them, or good?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I mean, I want the Brody Chase from the last one, but that one's hard to get. I think that was the only one because I want the mask and everything. I think
Yeah.
other than that one, I already have a Darby. I think I have like the first the Darby with the tree. The tree, it's
Yep.
not the first one, but it's like the second or third one.
Yep.
Like that, I love that one, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't need all the Darbies. It's like it's different for me than say like Cody, where I want all the outfits. Like Darby's a great wrestler, a legacy talent AEW, but unless it's something beyond different, I'm good with just the one I got.
It's funny that they paired these two up too, because this was the Blood and Guts 2-pack
Yeah,
from
right.
Ringside. And the
Hmm.
Brody figure obviously was blood. They were both bloody in that pack, but this Brody, like, is a really good figure. The
I
construction of it isn't that great. I will say one of the arms on mine broke off on a Brody, and I had to replace it. And it wasn't even being rough with it. It was just so tight. Like, and that's apparently an issue with Jazzwares. Some of these series, at least, the arms are so tight that you're scared to move them.
Wow.
Yeah, real positive. So let's get into something else that I am stoked on, and that's a ringside exclusive Jeff Jarrett. We got to see in package images of this figure. I've heard mixed reviews of the head sculpts. I didn't think that they were terrible, or at least one of them I think is pretty good. And this is coming very soon. It's supposed to be out in mid-August. I definitely picked it up. Is this something that you're feeling?
Ain't I great? I love good old Double J Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, man, he's got a good story going on right now. It's fun seeing him as a baby face. It's kind of silly because he's in that totally unlikable faction that he's with. I mean, I think unlikable sometimes in a good way because they can just annoy you and they get some heat. But I like this turn for Jeff Jarrett. I mean, he was in a panel. We're talking about Comic Con a lot because it's coming up, but he was in a panel at Comic Con, I think last year for like WrestleQuest. It might have been 2 years ago. I get the last two Comic Cons confused, but he's a good dude, man. Like everything, like it's funny because he played this character, and then he's had some stuff with TNA, but overall, I think he's like one of the real good guys in wrestling, and people oversee that because of him owning and kind of being a nepo baby at some point, but also playing a crazy heel character. But he seems like a total genuine good guy from all accounts. And I love the story he's got going on with the Owen, everything with going on in the Owen tournament and everything. But yeah, these figures look good. The smiling face kind of captures his look right now. And I think overall I dig it. The jacket's dope. So yeah, this is a good exclusive. And I think this new story will help the sales for him. I think more people are going to be into Jeff Jarrett now than they were probably, 3-4 months ago.
His uncut Owen Hart interview it's 10 minutes. You need to watch it. It is fantastic storytelling. Him explaining his history with Owen, and you really rally behind the guy. And I don't want to spoil anything here, but you probably saw he didn't win, and that's okay. Sometimes it doesn't come through, and now he's an enforcer in the finals in Calgary this week on Dynamite. So that'll be a fun match with Hangman and Bryan Danielson. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to this figure because it's been a long time coming that we would get a modern scale Jeff Jarrett figure.
Yeah, I think both skins look good. The presentation's terrific. Yeah, just total like Memphis look, on it. And yeah, I dig it. I dig what they're doing. So hopefully it sells pretty well so we can get more of this kind of thing.
Well, segueing to a long time coming, and that is usually a segment that we call Super Kicked Our Wallet, but we're going to call it Steiner lining our wallets because we got pre-orders for the Ultimate Edition Steiner Brothers. This is a
Oh yeah.
classic 92, 93 look WWE New Generation coming in November from Ringside Collectibles, $74.99. And to me, worth every penny because we have waited, what is it, 15 years
Oh
into
yeah.
the Mattel line at this point?
Oh yeah. Stop. Oh man, dude. And I just watched the biography last night. That's a good watch. So definitely check out the AEW biography. It's one of the shorter ones too. I know sometimes they can run almost 2 hours, hour and a half. It was like 48 minutes or something, and definitely enough of Rick and Scott, and real cool just seeing there, Rick leaving the business and Scott becoming more of a star, and then just that support that they gave each other. It was no drama or no like jealousy or anything like that. Just real good story. And yeah, it's great timing. Again, the timing in some of these figures, Jeff Jarrett with the Owen thing, and then this with the biography. It's like the synergy. I always like stories behind my toys. I always talk about that when it comes to any line. So getting those stories, it's perfect. But this is absolutely, along with Legion of Doom and Demolition, some of the most wanted figures in the line, if not the most wanted tag team. And Ringside's gonna start killing us, killing our Steiner lining our wallets and Frankensteining our wallets with these tremendous tag teams.
And they already have with the Usos and the Outsiders. Those were the first two
Yep.
Ultimate Edition tag team 2 packs. And you can see a theme here. So who's going to be number 4 after the Steiners? We'll just have to find out, hopefully at Comic-Con. But
Mhm.
I dig these. I dig the jackets. I know they don't have the M on it. You'll be able to get that from some custom creator,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure.
I'm a
Yep.
Michigan guy. That's my team. And I mean, it looks not like on the buckle that looks like an M, but it's not. It's kind of funny if you look at Rick Steiner's on the visuals here. But yeah, you'll be able to get some Bad Mother tattoos, or someone on eBay will definitely have a decal or whatever. But it is soft goods, so it'll be interesting to see how it sticks on.
Hmm.
I don't know if like that navy blue part looks soft. It doesn't look plexy like the yellow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if those are going to be able to stick on the cotton too well. It might come off. But man, as far as their wrestling tights look great, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And Scott is essentially the Hasbro figure. Rick is looking exactly like one of the Braun Breaker Elite figures that came out. So very cool. Looking forward to these. Can't wait to have them. And day
Mhm.
one, minute one pre-order.
Yep. Well, that's that's definitely the main thing that Steiner lined my wallet this week. What do you got?
I got WWE Elite 111 in hand, and I had to think about it because it is these just keep coming. It's like
Ooh,
110 was just here and 109, and it just feels like these sets are flying out now. And this Sandman figure is probably my favorite in the wave by far. I thought the
yeah.
Cody was cool, and I like the Finn updates, but I think that the Sandman, talk about figures that we've been waiting on, and Sandman is one of those ECW legends that we needed in this line, and we got him.
I should have ordered that one.
Did
Yeah, I was
you?
kind of cut back, but I didn't get either of these. But
Mr.
man, it's a
President, Cody
same
Rhodes.
same Cody face we got with the last the Ultimate Edition, right?
I think it's a little different because it's like a straight scan, and he looks kind of like he's got like the mumps or something.
Yeah, it's not the
Like
best. Yeah,
it's there's something different about it. But I thought that the attire was very clean, very good look. I think this is from SummerSlam when he wrestled Brock Lesnar, and
yeah,
I think it's
great
supposed to
attire.
be his like choked up look or something when Brock endorsed him.
Awesome attire.
Finn Balor, Judgment Day, very close to the all black attire that we got before, but he's got the white kicks and the white lowers on his legs. Dan Turnquist tag team title on there, making him look
Nice.
good. Head sculpt, not the best, but
No,
that's
thick.
one of the amazing things with Mattel is
Yeah,
you can just pop the heads, pop a new one on, and you've got maybe a better looking version of the figure.
yeah, that looks better for sure.
And then Tony D in the Crush Velvet. We'll just go through these real quick. Trish Stratus, her hat fell off, and she's ready to announce John Cena
She
retiring.
looks good. She looks
Yeah,
good.
here's Ultimate Edition Cena.
Oh wow.
Throw him up there. And the man that'll probably be in AEW very soon, Ricochet. And I like this head. It's painted a little different than the last Elite.
It
It's
looks great.
essentially the same. My one bummer is there's like this weird, like silvery mark on his head. Like, I don't know what happened there. The attire is a little, it's colorful. I don't love the boots like everybody else. They look like he's got like moon boots from when you were a kid.
Max Moon zebra boots.
Yeah. So that's what's super kicking my wallet, other than this Ethan Page Chase figure that I ordered from the UK and came in great shape. And I opened, and I really dig this gold and black attire. And now he's on NXT tonight.
No, it's on
So
NXT.
pretty exciting.
By the time these figures come out, they're already in new promotions. So
Right? It's like Ricochet will be on shelves and in AEW, and same for Ethan Page. He'll be in WWE or NXT and, on shelves in an AEW package.
for sure. Got myself a $13.59 Seth Rollins. I never go to Walmart, like you heard my whole rant, but I finally went to one. The one my area Walmart. That never has anything. They actually had figures. And I was like, yeah, this is one of them. I'm still missing Damian Priest, but then I'll have the whole wave. But man, it was 13.59. It said the on the shelf that had 13.59 WWE Elite clearance. I think they meant main event. But I brought it to the register. It rang up 22 whatever. I showed them the tag, and they said, "We'll give you this one, but anything else there we have to take away." Because it was a Steiner. Scott. Speaking of Scott Steiner, they had the one with the chainmail,
Yeah.
and I was gonna get them both because I hadn't. But you can get that for $15 on Ringside now, and I
Yeah.
think maybe if you find him at like Ollie's or Ross, he's probably there. But I went with this one anyway. Um, and then yeah, at Joe Fest I found Elite. What is it? Elite 91
91. Yeah.
Tiger Stripe RVD. There was someone selling action figures for half off, and so I said okay. I got a bunch of Marvel Legends, but thanks to My Damn Toys recommendation. I think it was well, like on a list he had of best figures or something like that, that he had some kind of list. And so I was like, oh yeah, you know what? He's not wrong. I slept on this one. I got to grab it. And for $15 or $10, whatever it was, I was like, oh hell yeah. So pretty happy with this. I love this figure is so much better than that Walmart one. Monday Night War one for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the. So anything that you want to hit before we get out of here? Anything to sign off with?
Well, just obviously I've mentioned it a million times. I'm excited for Comic-Con. We'll talk about the Heartbreak Kid, I'm sure, once we have it in hand or something like that. I wasn't able to be here when you were mentioning the pre-order. But shout out to all the amazing guests you've had on the show. Looking forward to the next one. So it'll probably be either a quick Comic-Con preview or recap, but we're gonna get together in San Diego, hopefully. I haven't got my work schedule yet. I don't know. It seems like you're leaving when I'm coming, but I might get there a day or two early, and if that happens, it'll be good to share a pint with you, my man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make it work. So maybe
Yeah,
I'll have to
for sure. Even
rearrange
if it's just
something.
a coffee before you get to the airport or something, like just something. We got to do something.
Well, I'm definitely in for coffee. So, well,
Cool.
with that, that's a show for this week. Thanks to Travis for putting together all the AV items on this show. Thanks to all you for listening. Please like, rate, review, and subscribe. You can find me at wrestlingfigurenews.com. You can find me on Instagram at WrestleFigNewsPod. I've changed up my handle, so it's a little more it fits better with
Yeah, I
the
was
whole
gonna.
thing.
I didn't want to say anything, but there's a lot of people that reference you and call you the Wrestling DeLorean, and then
Yeah,
I'm like,
Wrestling
oh
DeLorean
man,
85.
but then it's a blown opportunity because it's not marketing your bread and butter, which is
Yep.
this amazing podcast with amazing guests. And besides me, you have you have epic guests on. I'm just here to fill the void, but you obviously have the source for wrestling figure news. It's wrestlingfigurenews.com. That's where I got the amazing visuals for this episode on a toy kind of mood. So I got to thank you for making my life easier. I don't have to use Google. I just go to you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you doing that, and that's how we connected. That's how we became friends, and yeah, that's how we got together on doing this show. So, thanks to everybody for watching, for listening. We'll be back next week, or at least I will.
At least you will. Take care.